Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at the WWE Mattel Wrestlemania 32 series Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. One of my favourite wrestlers of all time. Certainly as a kid, Eddie was number one. When I first started watching WWE, it was around the time Eddie was a major player. I believe he was a US champion, and then through the feud with Chavo and then Brock Lesnar became the WWE champion. When for me, I was always a big SmackDown fan, and Eddie Guerrero was Mr. SmackDown. That was his show. He was fantastic. I mean, just the other day, of course, Royal Rumble 2016 is coming up now. I went back and watched a few of the old Royal Rumbles, and one of the things I loved, 2005, the lead-in to that match, Eddie Guerrero lying, cheating, and stealing. Some great moments with Ric Flair where he steals Ric Flair's number, and Ric Flair's all celebrating, showing everyone his number, and people are sort of like, well, you know, you sure you're happy with that? And of course, Eddie switched it and gave Ric Flair number one, and then when he finally gets caught, he hands over the correct number to Teddy Long, and Teddy's like, and hand over the other thing too, and turns out he's stolen Ric Flair's wallet. Just a pisser, just such a great character, one of the all-time greatest underdogs and good guys. Had great matches with Batista, Rey Mysterio, of course, Chris Benoit. So to get my hands on a Mattel Eddie Guerrero makes me extremely happy. In terms of packaging, nice shot of Eddie from WrestleMania 20, where he defended the WWE Championship against Kurt Angle, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. On the back, other figures in the set, obviously we got Eddie. Razor Ramon, I gave him a miss just because I got the Elite and Defining Moments versions of him, and they're much nicer figures. Cesaro, of course, if you haven't got a version of him, then that's not a bad one to pick up. And then Roman Reigns, which I've reviewed, that is a sick figure. So with that, let's get Eddie opened up. Now, 10 years ago, if you wanted a wrestling figure, Jakks was your hookup. So I'm very interested to actually compare these two figures. They are pretty much identical. They've both got the same attire, so it'll be a good way to compare and answer that age-old question, which is better? Is it Jakks? Is it Mattel? Now, the first thing that is extremely obvious is obviously the size difference. One of Jakks' main drawbacks is that they had the same size for all their figures, and as a result, you get a much larger Eddie Guerrero, certainly a much more jacked, muscle-bound Eddie. I'll bring it forward so you guys can take a look at the Mattel face. This is one figure that Mattel did a great job with. Definitely nailed the face scan. I think they did a really good job on the hair as well. One thing that I will say is that the Jakks Eddie is a much nicer head. I think I love the extra effort they went to of giving him the blonde tips in the hair. It just looks a little bit more accurate. The facial hair as well, I just think is a little bit nicer. So when it comes to face, I think Jakks did a much better job. That's not to say there's anything bad about the Mattel. The Mattel certainly is incredible. Nice detail as well on the arm tattoo for Eddie. That's one thing, obviously the cross, that's missing on the Jakks. So I guess we'll give 1 point to Mattel, 1 point to Jakks each. Moving down, looking at the actual trunks. Nice detail on the sides there. On the back, of course, we've got Latino Heat. Very nice. The Jakks is missing the gold and missing the stuff on the back. So in terms of detail, I guess we give Mattel another advantage there. The boots, obviously trademark boots. I love the finish for his match with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20. You know, he takes the boot off, Kurt Angle locks in the ankle lock, Eddie rolls through. I think that's brilliant. I also loved the feud Eddie had with JBL. They're some of the best matches of all time. You go and watch Great American Bash, the Texas Bull Rope match, their fight at Judgment Day as well. They're excellent. They really are good. The whole 2004 was really a great year for Eddie Guerrero. He had great feuds then with general manager Kurt Angle and El Gran Luchador, steel cage matches, all that sort of stuff. Just a great wrestler. He really did leave us way too soon. I was devastated as a kid when I heard that he passed away. That was really, really sad. Now, in terms of articulation, he's got a ball-jointed head, ball-jointed arms, swivel in the bicep, bend at the elbow, swivel in the wrist, swivel waist, legs move forward and back, bend at the knee, swivel in the boot, and swivel in the ankle. So your standard range of basic Mattel articulation. Overall, if you're a WWE fan, 100% this is a must-have figure. Both figures that I've got so far from the WrestleMania 32 wave are amazing. The Mattel scale's a lot better than the Jakks, as you can see with Roman Reigns there. Honestly, awesome. The only thing I wish it had was the blonde tips in the hair. Um, just seems like a little bit of extra detail, but everything else on this figure is significantly better than the Jakks. So in this case, I think Mattel have got an edge over the Jakks. Definitely a really cool figure, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this review on the WrestleMania 32 series, the WWE Champion, Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero.